So the one thing we like to find out from our partners is just like kind of what led you to Phin. What were some pain points you were trying to solve? Maybe some experiences you were having with other providers. What was the catalyst for you to search for a new provider?
Yeah, I can fill that one. I was the one who was actually doing the security awareness trainings and the phishing simulations at the time. The vendor that we were with, they have other products that were really great. We were trying out this product, and what we found was it wasn't really just like set it up and let it go. You had to curate all of your own trainings, all of your own phishing simulations. You could set it for really as long as you wanted, but you had to do everything yourself. And then once it ran out, you had to reset them up, and it wasn't really MSP friendly. It took a lot of time and a lot of management, and we were just at the point where we were growing really fast, and so just at the number that we were at, number of partners we were at, that we were setting it up, it was just too much work. So that was when I started looking out for other vendors and products. Oh, and the other big thing is the vendor that we were with made it clear that they had no intentions of growing the platform at the time and making improvements. So that was when we decided to look for something else. I I came across Phin at DattoCon. That was just previous to when we got signed up, so it was that 2022. Seemed like a great team, definitely a younger team, but they were raring to go, and they really wanted to push the product. They wanted to make everything easy on MSPs, and I compared them to a couple other competitors, and everything just worked out with Phin, and so we that was when we made the choice to go for it.
Thinking about those first months you were with Phin, how much would you say Phin has grown or changed, evolved, in those few years?
I'd say the most change has been within about the last year or so, where they're really trying to do things outside of the security awareness training and the phishing. They're really trying to push the boundaries and do new things, but it's always continually gotten better, and their support has been amazing. I don't think I have any vendors that reply as quickly. Yeah, we've always had a great partnership with Phin. They're always willing to help out or even listen to our feature requests and implement those. So
That's awesome. How difficult was it for you to add and deploy add your first customer and then set up their campaigns and deploy those?
So at the time, I'd already vetted Phin and decided on it, but at that time we had hired a new security technician who is no longer with us. Jacob has filled that role and has done a much better job in that role, I'll say. So I didn't actually have to be the one to start rolling people out, but I was there to assist him, and it was very straightforward. I think the we did have some initial issues with phishing simulations getting past Office 365 security, because at the time they were making so many changes that it was just kind of hard to keep up. And we did run into some issues later on that Jacob caught, where the original person who set them up didn't set them up as continuous trainings, set them up as termed. So we had to go through and recreate a bunch of, which was kind of the whole point that we went with Phin. So that was a little frustrating. But so we went through and had to redo quite a few similar campaigns and get those all set up. But Jacob can speak to how the process is nowadays. He's the day-to-day guy that's in there.
And even to add, rebuilding these campaigns was very simple. They were easy to redeploy, and we were able to build a small team of our within our organization to rebuild them. And we had that rebuild done in 2, 3, 4 days at max. In terms of the deployment of new partners and reviewing existing partners, the deployment's really easy. It's quick and it's straightforward. It is so straightforward that it's go to the integrations page, sign in with the Microsoft account once, and then integrate everything as required for each partner. So we run all the Microsoft integrations. So the 4 integrations are done smoothly and efficiently.
Jacob, how long did it take you to become, I guess, up to speed with Phin since you came in after it had already been, part of the stack? Um, what was the learning curve like for you?
What's really great about Phin is the learning curve is not much of a curve. It's it's easy, but easy in a good way. I was able to click through everything, push it out, understand it, and um, even if I don't know something, I can either go look at the KBs, or if I have to, if I have something I don't know, I can go to the support and go to them real quick, get a real fast response. And it even shows in terms of when I'm pushing it out to our new employees internally, they're able to pick up on it really quickly as well.
That's awesome. You mentioned the Microsoft integrations. What other integrations are y'all taking advantage of?
We take advantage of the Microsoft integrations, and then our ticketing system integrates nicely
We do
as well.
the PSA integration, yes, with ConnectWise PSA. We also just turned on the new triage feature. There's also a pod feature. We're still putting that in front of our dedicated service teams to see if they would find that to be helpful. Um, the one thing that wasn't super helpful for us, just because of our businesses, Phin does have the ability now to you could set up a blacklist, or you could block a sender in Office 365 if you set up another integration, or set up more permissions. But we use a third party vendor for our email security, and that's where we want our source of truth to be. So we don't necessarily need that part. But we did find with the new triage that when because we get surprisingly, we get a ton of people reporting fish using the Outlook email. I wasn't even aware of how there's hundreds of people every month that use it. And one of the things that was causing a bit of a bother for us was with the PSA integration. Whenever, let's say, an employee would submit a a phishing, click the button and submit the possible phishing email, it would actually open up a ticket under the point of the main POC's name in the ticket, and they would get an email. So that point of contact kept getting all these emails because their employees were submitting phishing tickets. But with that new, actually, I don't know if it was intended or not because I didn't read it in the notes. But with that new triage system, it's actually assigning the correct contact for whoever submits that ticket. So that was very helpful. So yeah, that was one of the new integrations that we just set up.
That's awesome. That's going to save y'all so much time too. How many reported fishes would you say you get a week or in a month?
I think the last time I looked, it was around 350 for one of the months. It was about 350 or so.
Yeah, we had one of our other partners say that they used to spend about 10 to 12 minutes per reported fish, and their technicians are down to 1 to 2 minutes. So if you
Yeah,
take that times 350, as they say, time is money. So you can allocate those resources to work on other things than
definitely.
besides identifying if it's a fish or not. That's awesome. Jacob, you said that you manage the platform. Are you the only one that is managing it, or do you have a team that does it?
I am the primary person that manages the Phin platform. We do give our dedicated service teams access to the Phin service. So if a support ticket comes in requiring Phin, I'm not the only person that'll deal with it. Like I said earlier, I've given all of our help desk members the ability to log into Phin, triage an issue, and if they can't figure it out, I send them over to the help desk to the support a ticket to submit a ticket within Phin and get a quick response.
That's great. So, about how much time per month do you think you spend or allocate for managing the Fin portal?
Not much.
I'd say unless a problem comes in, there's almost zero management, and that just kind of speaks to how well the product works by itself, and also speaking to how much work Jacob has to do. I mean, we have somewhere over 150 partners in Fin, and we have one person that sets up all the campaigns and basically manages it, and that's how easy and streamlined it is to use.
That's awesome. So, can you think of any other benefits or return on investment you get from using Fin besides the time?
besides the time, the other return on investment is making sure that our user base that we support has got quality training around cybersecurity issues. We have seen people have a deeper understanding of cybersecurity issues when they're going through these trainings. Maybe they do click on something and they got tricked briefly, but they quickly realize that and say, "Hey, I need to go back and report it." We're able to triage those and get ahead of problems before they come up.
That's awesome. I think your human wall is almost better than your firewall sometimes.
We're trying.
I think that's the whole goal,
Mm-hmm.
right?
It is, yeah.
Is there anything you wish that was different about Phin?
My request every time we have a conversation with the team is save me time and make sure it's an efficient service. So I'll echo that again. Give me back some time, and I'm really happy. But you guys already give me back a lot of time, so we're already winning there. Um,
Yeah, I think one of the other things would have been would be for Google Workspace, but I'm pretty certain you guys are already working on that. So you're filling in the need where we have it.
What part of Google Workspace are you talking about?
Integration, so we don't have to manually enter in users for trainings.
and if possible, make Google Workspace equal to what Microsoft offers, or to the Microsoft
I can
offerings.
say I saw an example today in a team meeting that will make you guys very happy. So
Good.
I don't have an ETA on it, but it's similar to Graph API for Microsoft.
Excellent.
So that was exciting to see. But it's definitely bare minimum right now. It was just to show the team what they were working on, but it's going to be awesome. The triaging model integration feature that we have.
Yeah.
How long have y'all been utilizing that?
Oh,
Turn it on
I
last
think we
week.
just got an email. Yeah, we just got an email about it last week, and then we turned it on. So it's been
Okay,
very
so
short.
you're already seeing an impact though.
Yes, for the primary thing for us is the correct contact coming in, and then we are taking a look at the pod. I really think the pod has a lot of information. As an MSP, we don't typically need all that information. I mean, typically internal IT unit can spend a lot of time on these. We're typically just blocking the email. If we need to, the only other thing that we may look at is the message headers, which the pod does clearly show, but also when the Phin email comes in, they attach a copy of the email, which we can open and check the headers very easily. So it's really going to come down to how our dedicated service teams like to operate, and they're going to kind of make the decision on if they want to use the pod or not.
What about this? Just initially, well, you haven't set up the pod yet. I was going to ask about setting that up.
Well, we set it up and took a look, so it's on. It's just not being utilized necessarily right now.
How was the setup process?
Oh, for me, it's really easy because we have an automation expert that sets it up. Like he sets it up like it's he's tying his shoe. So I'd say it's very straightforward, like most things. Phin. Yeah.
Very good. Any challenges you're facing with Phin?
None that I can think of.
No.
These are all excellent. I did want to pull out and give you a fact that Amanda dug up. She did some research and she said that from month 1 to month 36 of y'all using Phin, you've had a 72% decrease in the number of phishing clicks for your customers.
Interesting.
So that's kind of a fun little like sales or marketing fact for you guys to have, that this is making an impact with your users and it's helping them to at least stop and pause for a minute. You have that the angel on one shoulder and the devil on the other, like don't click it and click it. So they are definitely pausing and thinking a little bit more about how they can be more secure while they're online.
Good.
Any final thoughts or parting words that you'd like to share with us?
We've been really happy with Phin. If anybody else is looking for Phin or a security awareness training tool, Phin's an easy go-to in my mind.
100%. Yep. Been very happy. It was a great decision and a great move, and we're not looking to move anywhere else. So highly recommended.
That's great. So what I hear is we're stuck with each other then, right?
Yep. Oh, yeah.
All right. Well, y'all have a great day. We appreciate you taking the time to just let us know your feelings, your thoughts, and how we can help people out there stay safer while they're online.
Yeah, of course. Thank you.